Hi guys, so I hope you'll forgive how late, can you see me? I'll sit back a bit. I hope you'll forgive how late this episode is. I've been suffering from some laryngitis, so I had to take a little bit of time off recording reviews because I could speak, but it was very croaky and it was very painful to speak. Every time I sneezed, if I felt like my throat was on fire, I couldn't swallow comfortably. I've just got some antibiotics. I'm now taking that course of antibiotics and it's starting to feel a lot better. I can talk comfortably now. Swallowing is uncomfortable, but there's it still feels like there's something there, but it's a lot easier now. I can actually taste food and enjoy food. So I want to review this time the most recent episode of Doctor Who, last week's episode of Doctor Who, Fugitive of the Judoon. Now, of course, the Judoon are back. A lot of things are back, so this is quite an enjoyable episode. So if you haven't watched it, I'm sure you have by now, but if you haven't watched it, go ahead and watch it on iPlayer, wherever you get your Doctor Who fix, and come back to us because I am going to discuss some of the things here, because I feel like this isn't the type of episode where you can do a spoiler-free review. It's not possible. So Captain Jack's back. He only makes a brief appearance, Sunny in it for about 10 minutes. He actually seizes Graham from a Judoon ship, beams him up, thinks he's the Doctor, mistakes him for the Doctor. Graham explains, no, I'm not the Doctor, I just travel with the Doctor and all this. And Captain Jack leaves the Doctor a message. He says, beware the lone Cyberman. Do not give him what he wants at any cost. We also see a lady, a black lady, who is a tour guide, and she's married and she lives a normal life. And when the Judoon come to Earth, it's initially thought that her husband is the fugitive, that he's the one that they want. It's set up this way, but it turns out it's her that they want, and she is the Doctor. And this was the moment that left me and my wife, and I'm sure all the viewers, scratching our heads, because we thought, how can two Doctors? Yeah, we've seen two Doctors exist in the same place at the same time before, a number of times. We see it in the 50th anniversary special where we had 3-4 of them in the same space at the same time. Well, actually, if you count the 50th anniversary special, all of them were in the same space at the same time. But we saw that, and then we saw an episode before that where the Doctor met somebody who believed he was the Doctor. So it is possible, it can be done. We've also seen Peter Capaldi met William Hartnell, or not William Hartnell, but the first incarnation of the Doctor, when he was refusing to regenerate, and William Hartnell's Doctor was doing the same thing. So it can be done. It is possible. However, it's a very, very strange situation, because neither Jodie Whittaker's Doctor or the new Doctor, the Black Lady, remember each other. And of course, if this was the same linear timeline of Doctor incarnations, one of them would be the past incarnation and one would be the future incarnation. So the future incarnation should remember the past one. So it's all a bit head scratchy. We're not sure what's going on yet. Is this a Doctor from an alternate universe? Well, Chris Chibnall thinks not, says not. He has claimed in numerous newspaper articles that I've read that there's no tricks. She is the Doctor from this timeline. There's no alternate universe. She's from this universe. There's no alternate universe, no suppression business going on. She is the Doctor. That's all there is to it. Of course, this has triggered many of the right-wing snowflakes, as I like to call them, because they have a very weird habit of calling left-wing people snowflakes and then getting offended when something like there's a female Doctor and there's a black female Doctor now as well. So it just triggered many people, and it's highly brilliant. As I've said before, I've got no problem with PC in Doctor Who. No problem at all. As long as the episode doesn't suffer as a result. As I said with my Orphan 55 review, that episode suffered as a result of the political correctness and the message that it was trying to send. If you want to send a political message in your episode, in your program, in your series, fine. But make it subtle. Make it, or you haven't even got to make it subtle. You can make it blatant if you want, but don't let plot or character development or drama suffer, because it makes a bad episode. This episode, and pretty much all the episodes now, bar Orphan 55 of this series, have struck the right balance. They've had the PC, but they've also had the drama, the story, and it hasn't suffered. I think All from 55 was just a blip. So far, this is shaping up to be a better series than the last one, by far. We're seeing more doctory type situations where the Doctor is thinking on her feet. I've said this before, thinking on her feet, thinking of ways out of situations, thinking of plots and schemes and little tricks that the Doctor does. I found that the little trick that she did with the Scorpion alien race in the Tesla episode, where she gave the lady something to hold because she knew she would take it off her, and then she said, what do you think you was going to do with this? And she said, nothing, I just wanted you to hold it, and it was a teleportation device. That was very clever. That was very doctory. That was something I could see David Tennant, Matt Smith, Peter Capaldi doing. So that was very doctorish thing to do. So we're seeing Jodie Whittaker come into her own as a Doctor, rather than the last series where she just sort of took a back seat and we just sort of focused on Yaz and Graham and Brian O'Brien. We're seeing more of that, and we're also seeing some of the companions, and they seem to be sort of alternating a little bit back and forth. They're using their respective skills. In this episode, we saw Yaz using her police skills, using her detective skills in the episode. She says, I'm going to go and talk to the captain of the Judoon because I'm a police officer. I can talk her language. The Judoon are a police enforcement race. So Yaz thought, I can speak her language. I can go and communicate with her in a way, officer to officer, in a way that you guys can't, frankly. So we're seeing a bit more of that. That's impressive. I'm liking that. I'm liking that we're seeing Jodie Whittaker become more of a Doctor now, rather than just someone who things happen around. Things are actually happening because of her. They're actually taking shape. Events are shaping a certain way because of the things that she does now. That's a lot more impressive. So this episode, as I've said, has its PC moments. We've got a black female Doctor now, whoever she is, whether she's a suppressed regeneration. This is the bit that grates me a little bit, because if she turns out to be a suppressed regeneration, that throws Matt Smith's entire chronology out of sync. Because Matt Smith, if you count the War Doctor and if you count the cancelled regeneration of 10, Matt Smith was supposed to be the 13th incarnation of the Doctor. He was supposed to be out of regenerations, no more. That was his last one, which is why he spent the rest of his life on Trenzalore, defending Trenzalore from alien invasions, because he knew this was his last one. He had to live this life, and he lived it out. And then the Daleks came. Clara appealed to the Crack in the Wall for help, the Crack in the Universe, and the Time Lords granted 11 a new set of regeneration, and now it's indefinite. The Doctor can regenerate as many times as he wants. So if this new Doctor is chronologically a Doctor in 1 to 13, then that throws that out of whack. The only way that it wouldn't throw that out of whack is if she is somehow a regeneration between Matt Smith and Peter Capaldi. But it's not possible, because Matt Smith regenerated with Clara present. There was a witness on the TARDIS when Matt Smith became Peter Capaldi. The only way it's doable is if somehow there was a regeneration between Peter Capaldi and Jodie Whittaker. I can't see. Maybe that's the thing that the Time Lords are suppressing, that there was a regeneration between Peter Capaldi and Jodie Whittaker. That's the only thing that I can think of that would make it doable, that this Doctor can fit in the timeline. So maybe this Doctor is the real 13 and Jodie Whittaker is 14, and the Time Lords have done something and wiped her memory, which would be a bit of a bum thing, because that would be the second time the Doctor's memory has been wiped in quite a short space of time. If you remember, he was forced to forget Bill when Bill left, and then regenerated into, obviously, Jodie Whittaker, and he was alone when he did that. So that could be, I don't know. Let me know what you guys think, what the theories are that you have. Is Chris Chibnall lying to us, or is he wrong? Is this an alternate universe Doctor? I read a very interesting theory the other day, that this Doctor is the Doctor that was left on the parallel Earth with Rose by David Tennant's Doctor, and he somehow found a way to regenerate, because if you remember that episode, 10 left a piece of TARDIS with Rose and that Doctor so they could grow a new TARDIS. So something's happened to Rose, obviously, because she's not there. This Doctor has found some way to regenerate, And that's the theory. Let me know what you guys think. Personally, I think she's got to be a continuity Doctor, but she's got to squeeze somewhere in between 12 and 13. And obviously 13, Jodie Whittaker, is actually 14, and this new black female Doctor is the real 13. I have no idea. I'm truly stumped. It was a head scratcher. Go ahead and let me know what you think. That was Fugitive of the Judoon. I look forward to seeing you in a few days to review the next episode. Thanks for watching. See you in the next one.